getting this message. We want to prove to the whole world that the impossible dream can happen.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back one more time in the game. Everybody's playing at practice. Ready? Not late. Here we are. Right here. The time is now. Whatever time you got here is exactly when you need to be here. So, welcome back to Spaceship One Whole Earth. Remember, we are a small, tiny dust speck in the middle of everything, and we are going around, and stuff that's happening to us is kind of a small thing. So remember that you're part, like one minute part of the huge cosmic all. And that puts you into basically puts you into the life. And now we're in eternal life. And now the fact that I can even have this conversation with you, that you know what I might be saying with the vibration of my larynx, I'm making words up that you understand and I understand, and we agree that they say the same thing. What I like to say a lot is we are on one whole earth. And when we look at that last map, we can see that we have everything we need on one whole earth, just in case we want to live here happy, joyous, and free. That's the point. We're trying to get this planet is going to come back to us. So if we hold the vision of a one whole earth that works for all things, and that there's no scarcity, there's only plenty. Remember, there's only plenty here on one whole earth. It was given to us by our ancestors for a place to go and hang out. Obviously, we're on the greatest planet for a 3D experience you could ever get, called Earth, okay? Now, this 3D experience comes in all kinds of ways, obviously. And, we're up against it. The people who know better versus the people who don't know better, So grab my book and take a look at it. These are my board of directors. It's a fantasy game, okay? So it's a game so that I can play it. I don't need anybody else in the room. I can just imagine who's in the board. And I change it all the time, whoever I need, But this is how I solve problems. And so if you're looking at some long-term solution, then you should come and check out my book. It's based on stuff that I learned from my dad, who used this method to finance Prudential Insurance Company. Ultimately, it's the same strategy. It's boiled down to 5 things. He, own a piece of the rock, so you could have a life insurance policy that would pay out when you died, so you could pay your expenses and help your children along the way and help your family along the way. Life insurance, I'm not here to sell life insurance, but I could. Find one that fits for you. Prudential is a good one for me, and it's always been that way. Maybe we can get them to, why don't we get Prudential to sponsor our program? That would be great. Think about that for a minute. Now that's the imagination I'm trying to get to. If you want to play with me on this level, then you have to bring a game with me. You can't be just like sitting here eating popcorn, drinking beer. You can do all that and sit here, drink popcorn, drink beer. But right after this program, I want you to get up and do something. We got to pay it forward to buy it back. We can't be just, it's got to do something. So first, the idea is to find it for yourself, and then you want to help another person. Right? It's that simple. I get 5 things for me, and then I help give them to other people. It's that simple. And that's what the world, and that's kind of bring that with you. If you simple it down to that, I think you're going to be okay. I believe you'll be okay. I believe that I will be okay if I follow that simple thing. Now, I believe that because I saw a man who I call my father walk through the life and do that kind of thing and gracefully step away as he intended. My mom too, for that matter. So I think that's what we want to see, my grandma too. These are all people who accepted life, and they accepted death is a part of the life. Now, according to what's going on in the cosmic world, is we are being showered by now something they never had. We never had in the 80s and the 90s. It didn't start coming until the year 2020. In 2012, it's
If you're one of the very, very few people getting this message, we want to prove to the whole world that the impossible dream can happen.
Well, it looks like we're back right away. Okay, so had to come back around, stop what we were doing. So this is the kind of result of some of the cosmic rays that are coming in. Where again, it's a combination of the galactic center, the energy from the galactic center, which started hitting us in 12. Okay, if you're watching the Mayan calendar, it would be 12.00000. We moved in from that, and then we went from 12 to 999, and then we moved into 13.0. Now we're still at 13.0, and then we're at, what is that number? I think I can't remember. I cannot remember numbers like this. But what is the date that we put on the headline, Renee?
All right, let me look at your headline right now. It says 13.0.12.9.17.
So 12, 9, 17. So 12, we're in 12 of the months away, 12 of the cycles away from when it reset from 13.0000. That was the day that 12. That's if we go back to the Mayan calendar. There's a calculator on that website on the Mayan calendar. I always go to mayancalendar.com, and I look up the date. But on that day is when we reset the clock from to 13.000 from 12.99999. Can you imagine that? That's what it was. And if we were following the calendar then, we would have been like having that is crazy, right? Those 12s and 9s all add up to see exactly what kind of situation we're in. So now we're in that's through the Mayan calendar we started moving into the age of Aquarius. Okay, in ours, it started in the year 2000. Okay, and we started moving into the age of Aquarius, and today, like, this is the month that we actually physically are in the transition, and we're moving from this Pisces to Aquarius. Pretty cool times. I mean, it all adds up to a very interesting number. You see how our numbers are moving. So 12, 9, 17. Well, guess what? Tomorrow is going to be an 18, and 18 becomes a 9 portal. Do you see that? How now there's 3 9s there plus the 12. So it's crazy. And then if you add it all up, it gets more mystifying. But we can look at whatever detail you want. It's part of the game. I mean, you make up your own puzzle. You don't have to have a puzzle. It doesn't have to be, a complicated puzzle. It doesn't have to be any kind of real puzzle at all. It's just make up puzzle. You're making a game. It's a game. Don't forget to play. Don't forget to lose your marbles every once in a while just to see what happens next. Remember to seed what happens next. So if you use some of these silly things I like to use, like everybody plays the WholEarth game. Everybody plays at practice, right? Okay, so this is just for fun. It's just to try to remember to keep the fun in the game. Don't get too serious. But let's talk about some serious stuff going on. There is catastrophe globally right now. Stuff is going down. There are earthquakes just popping all over Indonesia. There's a whole bunch by Australia. Tsunami alert and the whole 9 yards. Okay, over there there was another earthquake swarm, I think in like North Sea or something north, up there and top by Greenland, Iceland and stuff that's going on. And there's some really cool, cool. I don't know what's cool. The earthquakes that are going on in Oregon right now, huge. There's another earthquake up there. Those are mountains. These are like this is crazy stuff. So these are all the nodal points. These are the points. Okay, now we're not the first. We're just seeing it for the first time. This is like when you they show you a story of what really happened in a certain event, and they make it like a Hollywood feature, just whatever you can imagine. Just think of the craziest, wackiest story that you can imagine, because I'm going to give you my idea, but here's the point. I want you to have your own, a moment here of what it might look like to see this kind of, the big idea. What's the big idea? I always look for the big idea. In this case, that we're going through this time of this portal. So now we're in the 999. But anyway, again, I tend to get wild and crazy and I lose my train of thought. And I, got to go back to what I'm doing here on planet Earth. When the question I have, and I'd love to hear you in the comment, and I will go ahead and start really looking at these comments from this day forward. The idea is that if we're conscious of this portal, then all of our wishes are going to be granted. Do you know that, Renee?
I didn't know that, so I want to hear more about that because I have some wishes that I need to be granted.
Okay, this is the day
Okay.
that if you were struggling with anything, it's time to look at it and step aside or move forward. There's no longer going to.
So it's decision time. It's actively decision time right now. All right.
All right, back in the game one more time. Okay, so what's going on real quick until they stay on there so I listen. So here's the thing. If you can hear me. Back in the game.
Okay, we're back.
Good Lord, have mercy. I don't see how long. So stay with me so I know you're still listening.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so this is the thing. So we're walking through these portals. We've gone through this like cosmic thing. We're moving into the age of Aquarius. We have to bring this abundance with us. There's no room anymore because what they told me is everything's already been done. All we have to do is really stay out of the way, and it's already happening. What does that mean? Whatever it is, it's happening. Now, my it obviously is to get everybody with food, housing, water, but that comes with the package of being in the body, right? You know that the
Yep.
house is the body, right?
Yes, it
You know
is.
that the water is the stuff inside us already, right? You know that we
Yep.
need food and some joy, but I guess you're going to have to bring that with you. You got to be able to imagine, really taste all the food that you eat from now on. Take a little bit of time, just as, as we were told. Have a little bit of, really take a minute to take and savor every single bite and every breath on this whole earth, right? And then make sure that there's something for extra. That's it. Make sure that you have a little extra because you're going to need it. You're going to need to share that. Okay. So we're here to tell people this is what you do. This is so simple.
So
Isn't
we've
that
had
great? What do you think?
that is really great. We've had a number of questions about portal. What do you mean by portal? Can you go a
Well,
little
these
into that?
numbers, it all depends on how you look at it. Okay. 12, 9, 16, okay, would be an 8 and 9, 8, 16, and 12. I mean, these are portal, but the portals are, it's in your imagination. The portals are like, okay, they're like moments in time that everything is lined up because there was a moment where everything was lined up, okay? And then we're having the moon is what's going on too. I mean, you have to see it. If you can't see the pattern, I can't show it to you. You have to look for the pattern. And when you see the pattern, you'll be like, oh, I see. That's how simple it is. Everyone has to have their moment. Like, what was the day, the day that you knew what you were here to do is what I want to know. When was the moment and what was the thing? I mean, for Renee, tell us, because it takes two of us to do this. Renee, you knew, when did you know?
Probably when I met you is when I when I started to know.
You didn't know you were here for something bigger until you met me?
No, I mean, okay, so it's about context. So yes, I think I knew almost immediately, as far back as I could go. I was aware that I had mission and purpose and that I had things that I was supposed to do on earth. But what's really cool is when I met you, you were putting things into words more than I had generally done them. So that's one of the things. Like, well, even these banners that you were talking about, that it's for fun, it's for to remember. These are so cool because, these are things that we intrinsically sometimes know, but we didn't have a pithy way of remembering it. So that's what I mean. But yes, I
Those are
think I
like
did know
baptism.
from,
Okay, these take
yeah,
us out of our self and our lack, and it puts us into a little bit more jovial chemistry.
yeah, and to affirm what we know too, to be clear.
Be a positive. Okay, we have no room to build down. We have no room to look backward. We have no room except to look forward and to build up and to build out. Play forward, right? That's all
Yep,
you got to do. It's so
that's
simple.
right. So the other thing that we kept getting questions about was you said something about your dad and Prudential. Somebody said that they love Prudential.
It's all right, man. We missed you too. Joe's coming in. He's struggling with his. Yeah, I
Okay.
am.
Hi, Joe.
Yes, I'll be able to help you in a minute.
Just
So,
questions about your dad and Prudential, because someone said that Prudential is the best, that kind of thing. So, what your connection is to Prudential Insurance?
well, I mean, I believe so. He was on the executive board of directors of Prudential Insurance Company. He was an executive, senior vice president of investments, basically. It's a high title. So, I mean, I don't know. I just lucked out by being with a guy in such a way that I could learn from him and I could see what he was doing. And as I got older, I mean, he always put it like it's too much for you to understand. You'll never get, you don't really understand. And this is kind of the thing, which is interesting too, because I'm trying to teach my children how to look at money in such a way. And it's very scary for some people, and some people they don't want to know. And then they don't, it's just the weirdest thing how people handle the flow of money. So it's something we talk about now. This is kind of what's going on. So there's right. Remember that we're in a place of abundance. So it's honestly it's Joe Davis who showed me how you can do so much with so little, and that we can be happy with very little. It doesn't take a lot, and there's lots of this whole kind of situation where um, it's all in your mind, right?
Yeah, I have a question about money because you said you're trying to talk to your kids about money. What is the relationship, a healthy relationship with money? Because we look at these billionaires, Elon Musk, all these billionaires calling the shots. When is enough enough? What
Okay,
is a
well,
healthy
it would be
relationship?
nothing for me to be an Elon Musk. I could empathize with Elon Musk and have all this money today. And I would say, first thing we have to do is straighten out the planet. Let's make sure everybody gets a place to sleep tonight. Let's stop with whatever war is going on anywhere. There's enough money to solve the problem. Let's just spend a little bit of my money. And why don't we like the other, billionaires, why don't we pitch in too and just throw down and see what happens if we make the planet like livable for every living thing. So we can just give back. See, my dad would be embarrassed. In fact, I'm sure he was not a popular person because he really required that everyone have a salary cap that wasn't just like so obscene, because no one was there to get rich on insurance at Prudential while he was there. I'm telling you that. But what is rich? So, having enough money to, have a house, have education, have food, have all those things. You have to have those things. Okay. You really don't need money for that. That's the thing. Once you set up a homeful lifestyle, then you will have the ability to be homeful and hungerless at the same time while doing nothing. You see, we go back to the Walden's Pond experience. Now we go back and we really go back to self reliance. So the movement, the portal that we're going from is one of reliance to self reliance. We're going from scarcity to abundance. Whatever we have, we're going to be grateful for. We're going to start with gratitude, and we're not going to be weird and be nasty to people. It's just not going to be cool. And any negative thought, there's no room for a negative thought ever. Never going to happen. And that's how one of the senior vice presidents of Prudential Insurance Company saw life in general. And he showed that to me, and that's how I'm showing it to you. So I basically simplified it so we could all understand. Oh, that means we need a place to sleep tonight. Yes, because we're a binary planet. There's a day-night cycle. We are absolutely required to sleep for about 6 to 8 hours. If you can get a good 6 to 8 hour sleep, you're going to be rebuilding everything as you were supposed to in your molecular kit and your DNA. Now, what's going on with this new energy coming to us from the center of the galaxy? It's a different kind of energy, don't you think? It would be different than the sun's energy. In fact, the energy is colliding with the sun's energy, and there is a basic, a little bit of a pushback. You know how when somebody gets into your space, how there's like a little bit of a, like you're in my space? This is what goes on in stars and galaxies too.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
The
So the
same
stars and the
consciousness,
galaxies are the same like personalities.
same person, same consciousness. I mean, that's what I believe.
Wow.
That's how big the thought is. I mean, each one of them, each planet has a different mentality. Okay, our planet is the Mother Earth Gaia. She is here to provide for us who want to be provided for. But she's not here for those people who want to hurt her. You have to think past it. You have to have faith now. Do you have faith is the question. Where's your faith? The faith of a mustard seed is all you need. What the fuck? That's what Christ said. But he was nobody, I mean, like not a special guy. Okay, Jesus Christ is not the person that we're talking about. We're talking about a guy that became the Christ, like any one of us can do. Each one of us has the power in us to be that person. Do you get that? Do you think that's true? Renee, do you think that's true?
I think that we are all supposed to
Hold
be.
on. Let's talk to Pastor John. Anybody pastor out there?
Let's get David Moore in here. Let's get
Get David
Moore.
Morgan here, right? Like
Yeah.
Pastor David. So, but I don't know. The fact that there's even a hesitation makes me, again, I get, how I get, because I have this ear that allows me to hear this ring of truth and a ring of, and when I don't, I want to stomp it out just for the love of it. It's not because I want to be mean. But if we have faith that we know it's already done, if they told me it's already been done, all I have to do is stay here and just do what I'm doing. This is not the first time. I mean, I did a ceremony of ayahuasca several years ago, and they basically said, stay with what you're doing, man. Just like, don't fuck with it. I mean, I'm happy with that result because I can carry that with me into eternity. And I'm going to go to the next job and I'm going to do the same thing because that's who I am. That's who I am. I'm the person who gives everything I have because because of what I was taught at home too. It didn't come prepackaged. I wanted to step aside several times, quit before I was done. I wanted to quit before I was done more times than another old friend came in. Oh, he's got a great painting though. Oh man, he's a good artist. He's got a great painting. I just saw an artist haven't seen in years. So 8 years ago is when I had my last drink of alcohol, and that is how long. Sometimes they've seen these people coming up that good person. Anyway, so there you go. What else is there? Well, okay, our imbecile president, insane clown is just at it, doing this. The good is coming through us. It's leaving up to us. We have to vote in such a way and do it. It's our work. Somehow we're going to have to come back and get a chance to get our guy elected, our guys elected. Now, I think what happened in Canada is interesting. Are you watching Canadian politics, Renee?
Yeah, I am. So they kind of voted based on anti-Trump. They were going towards the Trump guy initially, and then they spun around because now Canada is very, they don't want anything to do with Trump or anyone like him.
And then
right?
what happened this week?
What did happen this
Same
week?
thing in Australia.
Okay,
Labor
remind
Party's
me.
out there. I mean, Labor Party's protection area. Okay, that's protection.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So now you got I mean, I don't know where this is where King Charles might step up and do something. It'd be interesting to see if he could actually pull it together to make a speech that would rally people around the British Empire again. But this time, a chance to do it on the side of the good. See, this is the kind of stories that we're trying to conjure. Is we're working hard behind the scenes here at WholEarth, Spaceship One WholEarth. There's a whole crew back here, and they're typing every day. It's just like this. When I show you behind the curtain, you won't believe the room. Okay. And then we're working on the storyline that will get us out of the situation we're in right now to the place that we want to be. Right. But if we look at the resources we have around us, then we can see that we have everything we need on one WholEarth, right? So the only thing we need to get rid of are the things that are trying to kill us. That's it. So simple. Can we vote this way? Can we get those guys? Because they have been fooling around. Like, see, the thing you don't understand, and I'm going to be on this thing. So Jessica Denson is out there just screaming her lungs out. And my other guy, Jordan with Status Quo, is out there screaming his lungs out. We've been, robbed by the last election through vigilante. Greg Palast is out there screaming his lungs out. Okay, you got to go and listen and do your own homework. I know it's boring, tedious work, but if you don't do it, then no one else is going to do it for you. You are the person you've been waiting for. Don't leave it to somebody else to change this world. Be the one that does it. Be the one that does it. You only need one little tip to do it. Okay. Now, the faith you got to have, Renee, for the last time. If I got to tell you this again, I will tell you this again. It's already a done deal. Be kind to yourself and be kind to another person. And that's all there is to it. Do you feel like I'm answering the question? Whoever asked the question about Portal, is that answer your question? Yes or no? Tell me. Any other questions out there?
Yeah, we had a lot of questions. So one person
Cool.
said
Q&A.
that,
Right
yes,
on. I love it.
we're doing Q&A.
Make
So
sure that you take this Q&A and share it with your friends, though. If you're taking stuff without giving back, you are robbing me of this moment. You're robbing me of this idea. So please help us build this channel by helping bring people. And take these seriously. Ask me the question. What do you got?
yeah, pay it forward, everybody. So somebody's talked about the intoxication of money. Why is it that when people like Elon get so much money, they end up being less helpful? It's almost like the more money, I think what they're trying to say is the more money someone gets, the more stingy they get. What is that?
I have no idea. That's not part of. See, I don't have any. I don't have that problem. I give everything. I would like to give everything away. I need to be careful that I keep enough so that Renee and I can be working, and all those people in the back who I'm using to type can be paid.
And a lot of that came from being raised by your father. That's how he was running Prudential. That's how he ran his family. He was always giving back.
See, he
You
never
know,
ran Prudential, and he never ran his family.
okay.
He
But he
never.
was influential, though.
He just did what he did, the best of his ability, and the results followed.
Right,
That's what we're doing.
right.
So you can't run anything. You can run away, you can run to, you can run into, but I mean those are the kind of roadblock words that get me. They trigger me to say, okay, again, kind, gentle speech to myself and to you. That's it. So yes, he ran. Okay, well, okay, yes, because that's the way it looks. Okay, you're running a company. He looks like, okay, and that's the thing. And you would assume that there was some of this weird bravado that went along with what's happening. What are you gonna help him? Okay. So I mean, you think that he would have some swagger about it. He never did. That's the weirdest thing. Like he never understood like what it was about, his situation. All he was doing was the best that he could do on a single bed, and that was his job. And what else was there? Isn't that weird? So hey,
Please see me before you leave.
okay, I will. I will.
Do we have time for two more questions?
We got two more questions.
Okay, somebody said, "Did I see you on CNN?" Somebody thought
Probably
that you were
never.
on CNN. Okay, so you were not on CNN, but we do these shows, and so it's likely that maybe you guys saw him on YouTube or on one of the social media clips, right? So maybe
Whatever you
that's
do, like and share, like and share, like and share.
yes. And somebody else asked, "What university do you teach at?"
I teach at the University of WholEarth.
That's right. So we
We
go
are in
to
the university right now. So if you follow my book and you go through the system,
yes,
you will be as smart as I am. And you'll see that I'm just using regular folks who started out as regular folks and ended up being amazing people. And we always look at their model first to see how we would get out of a certain predicament. So we're looking into the Buckminster Fuller model, shows us sort of spaceship growth. We have to look at the world differently in order to see it the way it was designed. Once you do, then you can see that this provides everything for us. All we have to do is figure out how to distribute it to make sure everybody had it. This is what was going on in the days 5,000 years ago when they had people building earth mounds and pyramids, because it's just there's so much more benefit to the singularity, and having the ability to have those five things and still produce this monument of incredible value. And I think that was the prime motivator to many of these buildings. Now, The building in Egypt might have been built by larger people. Same thing though, with the eye of, perfection. Amazing. Bring your imagination, make your own up, make up your mind. But the numbers are there to see this. Look at these numbers. They're just great. 13, 12 pops out at me, 9 pops out at me, 17 pops out at me. They speak to me in such a way, I'm not quite sure what they're saying. There's a code in there. Do you see that? And it's a Mayan code. And if we were more sensitive to those numbers, then we would be able to see the code more directly. It's talking to you. The question is, can you hear the vibration? One more question, I got to go.
Okay, so Ella said, I've always noticed that numbers have power and import in my life. I always wake up at 11:11.
Isn't that crazy? I was just talking about numbers. Today I got 11:11 and I got 2:22 and I got 3:33. I wake up about once an hour. I cannot get some deep sleep. I'm having trouble with that and working through it. And but I'm getting up, but I'm not really fighting the cycle. 3:33 is definitely a key. I got up at I had a nap today at 12:21. I look at numbers all day long. Numbers are, given to us in a digital world as little bits of gratitude. I accept them as gratitude. So when you see a number like this, just say, give yourself a pat on the back. It's time to take a minute and breathe and remember that you're in the game, like the WholEarth game you're playing, right? Now you can't see it. If you see a thing, boop, WholEarth game, you're in. All right, one more, and I got to go.
Somebody said, is this the same thing as numerology?
No, go away. Do some work, read my book, and I'll talk to you next time. We'll be back next week for last week on WholEarth.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you for the questions. We'll answer more questions next week. All right, bye everyone.